word. I hope you are surviving and kind of enjoying this heat wave. This office room is like sitting in a sauna. It's unbearable. And I love the heat. I don't know about you. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good weekend. Please continue to spread the message to subscribe. Thank you if you're just joining me for the first time. I do wear clothes again. Only way I can live is with nothing on the shoulders right now. It's that hot. I want to speak to you about the Ballon nominations. Of course, for the women, some absolute belters in there. A really interesting one to see. Some I disagree with, and some I think, how are they going to choose the winner for the Ballon d'Or 2022 women? Because there's some absolute peaches in there, and I'm sure you can agree, even if you've not been following women's football for quite some time, if you've just kind of got on for the Euros and enjoyed what you've seen, there's some outstanding players nominated in there, and so many players who across the Euros shone so brightly and did so well, that I think it's going to be a really tough decision to make, and this is going to be one of those decisions where you have to go, okay, club and country per se, because it'll be hard to get it right, whoever it is that they go on to choose. I hope you're having a good week. I've just watched Manchester United be beaten 4-0 by Brentford, so my husband is maybe in the worst mood that he's ever been in, and I should have done this yesterday when the nominations came out, but I think half my brain melted in the heat wave. So here we are. Just to go through the majority of the list, Alexandra Popp, of course, Popp is the German who dominated the Euros for Germany, and maybe the sole reason that they made it to the final against England. If you don't know already, Alexandra Popp has had a brilliant career. She's won everything, but anytime she made it to a major final of the Euros, she got injured, and that's exactly what happened at Wembley in the warm-up. She was meant to play, and she managed to get herself an injury. She played so well for her country. She's been brilliant for Wolfsburg. She's such an outstanding player. But I think because she didn't made it to that final and England ended up winning, I'm wondering if that will be the decider there. Bon Mati, of course, up there as well. Wendy Reynard, French captain, and plays for Lyon as well, who won the Champions League, of course. This was an interesting one for me because I felt Wendy Reynard had a really tough Euros, and you can't help but focus on that penalty miss, that spectacular penalty miss. If you haven't seen it, Google once you've watched this video. But it was displayed as some of the worst football, and it was likened to by people who don't enjoy women's football as this is why, because look at this standard. It was a really bad day at the office for her. And I've enjoyed watching her actually at the Euros, but she wasn't the best that she could have been. But she's such a key player, and she's such a key figure for France as well, and she's won the Champions League. France didn't make it past the semis against Germany, so perhaps she's someone that you could say no to. I move on to Katoto, again plays for France and Lyon, similar to Wendy Reynard, but Katoto has just had an outstanding year, and just such a powerhouse to watch as well on the pitch. But again, I think falling short of progressing through the Euros, I think is something that might be a sticking point there. But then again, she did win the Champions League, so there's definitely one to look at. Lena Oberdorf in there as well. What a player she is again for Germany. I've absolutely loved watching her. I think she could be in with a really good shout of winning, apart from the whole fact that Germany didn't win against England. But she's just a brilliant player, and again a player who's senior, who's been around for quite some time, and has been making a name for herself. And after the Euros, I think it's going to be a harder decision to make because there's so much more focus on all of these players. As we know, Alexia Putellas won it last year. She's the Ballon d'Or winner. She's nominated again this year. It's a shame what's happened to her with her injury. It was a shame not to see her play for Spain at the Euros as well. I think it would have been a very different Euros had Alexia Putellas been there, of course. The one I really want to talk about, though, I can't help but focus on are the players who play here in the WSL and the players who won the Euros for England. I'm buzzing to see Beth Mead in there, a Ballon d'Or nomination. Of course, plays for Arsenal. They finished second in the league. She had a very good season for Arsenal, and of course was absolutely outstanding for England. She got the player of the tournament. She got the golden boot as well. She was level with Alexandra Popp, but due to Beth Mead's number of assists, which was 5, she went on to win the golden boot. brilliant to see a player who almost thought she was maybe out of the England setup for a while, making her way back in and have such a great tournament as well. But Arsenal fell so short in the Champions League. They are not up to scratch when you look at the likes of Lyon and Barcelona, and I do think that has a massive part to play. Arsenal won the quadruple how many years ago? 2007. And if I think Arsenal had progressed further in the Champions League, I think Beth Mead could be an amazing shout, as do I think Vivianne Miedema. But Viv has been slightly off her game, shall we say, been through many different experiences over the last year or so, but she again is nominated purely because of her figures. She's such an outstanding goal scorer in front of goal. She's deadly, but she didn't quite come to fruition at the Euros. Actually, through my sister and my sister-in-law, they know Viv very well, as I've met her a good few times, and she's a really lovely person. After the Euros, and obviously what happened to her getting COVID during the Euros, she was just so absolutely wrecked from it, and you feel for players like that, when there's a lot of pressure on her to perform every single time, and to get through 90 minutes of that game, to be beaten of course by France, was hard for her, very, very hard, but glad to see she's still appreciated as one of the best, because she is, and I know that she will come back even stronger. I don't see her as the winner of the Ballon d'Or this year, because Arsenal didn't win the league, they didn't progress to the Champions League, and of course the Netherlands didn't get out of the semis as well, the quarters, in the Euros as well. Millie Bright, what a centre-back. She's a good old-fashioned centre-back. Of course, Chelsea won the league. She's won the Euros now for England. I think she's just been such a shining light as well. We saw her change up a play as well as the Euros went on. I think under the likes of Serena Weigman and Emma Hayes, Millie Bright is a player that's never going to let you down, and it was excellent to see her name on that list. Players like Millie Bright really get the recognition she deserves, because I actually thought when we know that Steph Houghton wasn't coming back to the England squad, I thought, okay, Millie Bright could be a decent captain, and Leah Williamson has done an outstanding job. She doesn't put a foot wrong on or off the pitch really, and she didn't at the Euros. Interested to see that she wasn't nominated either, but I think Millie Bright, with what she's done in the league, she never really disappoints. They didn't get the Golden Glove. Chelsea, it was Arsenal got that, wasn't it? Manuela Zinsberger. But defensively, I think Chelsea are great. They're such a powerhouse team, and Millie Bright to get this recognition is brilliant. Lucy Bronze, no massive shock. She's won the Ballon d'Or before. I didn't think her Euros was what it's made out to be, but it's hard. How I see it, and this is purely my opinion, is that she's a known footballer. She's a household name. Perhaps like Vivianne Miedema, who's not had maybe their best season. They're still outstanding players. They contribute an awful lot. But they're there because it's hard to ignore them, shall we say. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it. But what I've loved about Lucy Bronze is that she came out and said, I didn't deserve this nomination. Keira Walsh deserved this nomination for her wondrous work in the midfield for England. But of course, you're going across club and country. Lucy Bronze played at Manchester City. Now she's gone to Barcelona, but Keira Walsh also at Manchester City as well. So perhaps Keira Walsh should have been in there, because everyone's saying she's like the unsung hero and she doesn't get the recognition she deserves. I think she does. I think everyone sees Keira Walsh for what a player she is. She's unbelievable. What a Euros as well. So yeah, if you want to add her to that list, she should be there. But Lucy Bronze, I think, had an excellent final. I thought, watching her at Wembley, I was like, wow, like she steps up to the plate. She knows the big stage, and she was brilliant to watch, I think, in the final, that's for sure. Sam Kerr didn't take part in the Euros for obvious reasons. She's Australian, but up there once again. And Sam Kerr, I would say, is the last couple of the seasons, she's the best striker. She never doesn't win. That's just one way of putting it. When they're up against it, she will make sure by hook or by crook she's going to get that goal, and for that I rate Sam Kerr. I've also started to focus on her a little bit more, and I love how she talks. I love how she represents herself. I've seen her in the documentary One Team, One Dream on DAZN. If you haven't seen that, it's absolutely excellent, but it gives an insight as to what she's like as a character, and I wasn't expecting her to be so gentle, and I think she's quite a gentle person. And I was with Caitlin Ford, who also plays for Australia, the Matildas, and plays at Arsenal as well, and I was asking her about Sam Kerr, and it's just like she's just the most generous person as well. But that, our football does the talking, and that's why she's back in this nomination again. Ada Hegerberg, Oh, well, of course, for Lyon, she came back for that Champions League final. She scored a couple of worldies. But our Euros were poor. Norway were poor. You know, we expected more of them, especially as one of the best, most feared strikers in the world. I don't think, again, it's like she's up there because she's been there before and everybody knows her, but I don't think she was right. I don't think she's not going to win this. She cannot win this. But in saying that, I absolutely rate her. Katoto, I mentioned Katoto, excellent. Oshola, Rodman as well. Trying to say Rodman, Dennis Rodman's daughter. Yeah, Dennis Rodman's daughter. In case you didn't know. Google her, fascinating stuff. But yeah, that is the list as it goes. Interesting one. I think if I could pick my winner, that's tough, you know. I think Pop's been so good all season, and it's a shame what's happened to her at the Euros. Part of me wants to say Beth Mead because I just think how incredible would that be. Vivianne Miedema, I love her and I want her to be a Ballon d'Or winner at some point in her career. I think she absolutely deserves that. It's really, really tough, but ultimately I think you have to go maybe for a winner of the Euros and a winner of the Champions League, and that doesn't exist. Actually, Alexia Putellas, I don't think can get it second year in a row. I don't, just because of what happened for the Euros. I really, really cannot call this. If I'm going with my heart, I think... if I'm going with my heart, I think I'm going to say Popp. I want it for her. She did so well in the Euros. She did decent in the Champions League for Wolfsburg. Oh my God, I have no idea actually. I think I'm going to massively sit in the fence with this one. Okay, I'm going to go for Beth Mead. I'm going to go for Beth Mead because I think she just lit up on the big stage and it was absolutely outstanding to see. Maybe even Millie Bright, right? And I ain't a Chelsea fan. Maybe Millie Bright would be also brilliant to see as well. But so good to see so many players from the WSL in there as well, and so many players who lit up at the Euros tournament. By the way, I still can't believe it's over. But yeah, interesting to know your thoughts as well. Please leave in the comment if there's somebody I've missed, if there's a moment I've missed. If there's a topic that you feel this person deserves then please let me know. But that is your Ballon d'Or nominees for 2022.